Our speaker this morning is Mr. Rich Tabarrini, who serves on our Board of Trustees and is the father of Richie, class of 2016, Giovanna, class of 2018, Isabella, class of 2021, and Anna, class of 2023. He is the chair of the Campus Planning and Property Committees and is a member of the Education, Executive, and Student Life, Health, and Wellness Committees. Mr. Tabarrini retired last year as the Chief Commercial Officer of Barista, located in Wayne, PA. Prior to working at Barista, he was the president and founder of Covex, a global validation and compliance services firm. He has worked in the pharmaceutical industry for more than 23 years, 20 of which have direct involvement with computer validation and regulatory compliance. Mr. Tabarrini earned a BS in biology from LaSalle University. He resides in Schwenksville, PA, with his wife, Christina, and 4 children. Mr. Tabarrini.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction, and it's a pleasure to speak to you today. I think what's important is also knowing what I'm not. I'm not a Hill alumnus, and that makes me really sad. But it's okay. Everything turned out really well. My wife and I worked really hard, and were able to afford the opportunity to send all 4 of our beautiful children here to the Hill School. So when I was asked to speak, I thought, wow, what can I say to you? And I think the best thing that I can say is give you a perspective from a parent's point of view on why it's so important for us, for you to have this opportunity to be at such a prestigious and warm educational opportunity that the Hill School provides for everybody. So if you decide to become parents someday, you're going to understand that no matter what your achievements are, nothing is more important than providing these opportunities to your most treasured gift, which is your children. And that's what I thought. So there's 3 main reasons we wanted to send our children to the Hill School. The first one today has a popular acronym. You'll know it as DE&I. It didn't exist then, but we went home and we talked about this. So we were fortunate enough that when my oldest, Richie, was in 7th grade, we were friends with the Bala family, and they kindly invited us over for dinner and gave us a tour of the Hill School. And my only regret that day was I didn't bring my sleeping bag, because I could have spent a week here sleeping in all the different buildings, reading all the different plaques on the walls. The history here is so rich and so encouraging, and you just soak it all in, and you want to be here. And it was just such a warm moment for all of us that we went home and we talked about it. And we said, you know, in the world today, you just don't have these kind of opportunities. And what I mean by that is I grew up in a small town in northeastern Pennsylvania. It's 3 square miles. It's about 8,000 people. And most people are the same. And we're products of our environment, right? So my train of thought when I was growing up was a certain way. And I thought I knew everything when I graduated high school. And lo and behold, I decided to go to a Christian Brother University, LaSalle University in Philadelphia. So here I am, in my work boots, my jeans, my Led Zeppelin t-shirt, my flannel shirt opened over the top, my mullet, because that was the rage at the time in my hometown, my mustache, and I show up at this university and nobody looks like me. Nobody acts like me. I was scared to death. So I show up and I was in a quad, and my roommate didn't show up because he actually was from my hometown and got scared and decided not to go. So my parents moved me in, and the 2 roommates on the other side had set up their room because they had gotten there before I did, but they had left with their parents to go get something to eat. And I peek in their room and I see all these band pictures on the walls and a picture of Ethel Merman. And I know you don't know who Ethel Merman is, but neither did I at the time. But it was this lady in black and white. And it was all these black and white photos. And I looked at my parents and I'm like, I want to go home. I don't belong here. Nobody here is like me. And they're like, oh, no, you're staying here. This is the best thing for you. And they knew better than I did at the time. And I'll be honest with you, after about a month, those 2 roommates are my brothers for life. They're my best friends. But when they showed up in their Docksiders and khaki pants and golf shirts and prep haircuts, I was like, oh my God, I just don't belong here. But like I said, a month later, I got a haircut. I was wearing Docksiders. I had khaki pants on and a golf shirt. And they taught me how to dress like a normal human being. But it was a 2-way street. They were guys that grew up. They had no athletic ability. I had them in the gym an hour and a half every day. I had to teach them how to throw a baseball. They had never thrown a baseball in their entire life. But my point here is I believed in myself. I expanded my mind. I met people that were very different from me, and we took the best of each other. And to this day, we're great friends. I took that lesson into the business world. So when I got into business, I got my auditing certificate, and I was fortunate enough to be able to travel the world. And I met people from South Korea, from Japan, from India, from all over Europe. And I learned really quickly, different people from different cultures have different ideas, different approaches to the same problem. And when you consider all of that, that is the absolute best way to provide a solution to your clients. Because you have points of views from different lifestyles, different cultures, different sexual orientations. It doesn't matter. The bigger you make your tent, the better decisions you're going to make. And they don't have to change your mind. You can stick to your original thought, but you need to consider all of those and have a rationale as to what the best path forward is. And when you're inclusive like that, you have the best path forward. Well, what an opportunity to send our children to the Hill School, where you are this diverse environment. There are students here from 30 countries and 28 states. We couldn't have offered a better opportunity to our children. They are learning things here at the Hill School from 3rd to 6th form that took me well into my 20s and early 30s to learn. What an eye-opening experience you have here at the Hill School. What a great opportunity that is. And what impressed me the most, when my son was on the football team, one of his best friends was a linebacker. And that linebacker sung the national anthem at every game and was on the choir and was a member of the Hill Trebles and Tones. And one of these starting offensive linemen was the lead in Shrek. So the Hill is a place where it encourages you to reach out and try new things and find out who you are, expand your mind. Where I came from, that never would have happened. That doesn't happen in a lot of places outside of schools like the Hill School. So I hope you really appreciate how much the Hill really encourages you to expand your mind, reach out, try new things, find out who you really are. You might find that you came here because you wanted to study engineering, but you took a history class or an arts class, and that's really where your passion lies, or vice versa. You don't know until you try things, and trying things can be scary. But this is an environment that has taken away that scare factor because everybody's doing it. You're immersed in this area where everybody is doing this. So that was reason number one. Reason number two were values, specifically family values. We raise our children to say yes, please, and no, thank you, and consider other people's feelings. Well, guess what? You do that every day here at the Hill School. I can't think of a time that I didn't come to a seated lunch where someone held the door open for me and said, "Welcome, Mr. Tabarrini," or "Yes, please," or "No, thank you," or just a kind word. And you're going to learn that these soft skills aren't practiced in the real world by everybody, but they go a long way. It puts you so much farther ahead. You're getting a world-class education here from the absolute finest teachers that could be assembled. There really are no better minds, and they've dedicated their lives to passing along their knowledge to you. But the soft skills that you learn here at Hill, you can take for the rest of your lives, and are going to take you so much farther ahead. And my favorite two values here are personal responsibility. You have to own what you do here at the Hill School. If you goof around, your grades aren't going to be so good. If you study really hard, your grades are going to be great. You are responsible for yourself here. And my favorite one of all time, and I call it paying it forward. Some people call it giving it back. You learn that the world is bigger than just you. You learn that helping others feels really good. You pay it forward, you pass it along. And it doesn't have to be financial, right? It could be volunteering your time. And I know there's a lot of volunteer programs here. I know a lot of my daughters came for the summers to coach some of the kids from Pottstown that were brought in for some of the camps. There's cleanup day in Pottstown. There's so much about giving back that makes you feel so good. And that is a value you can take the rest of your life as far as you go. And it warms your heart, but it makes the world a better place. You're leaving the world a better place. You're leaving Hill a better place than when you came. And it must make you feel so proud and so good to do something like that. And the third piece is opportunity. The first part of opportunity is the opportunity to learn from the absolute greatest minds in teaching, administration, and staff that we've assembled here at the Hill School. You're learning from people that have dedicated their lives for your betterment. It's not just a job, it's a calling. They're living here at the Hill School and available to you 24/7. Let me rephrase that, because I'm going to have teachers call me up saying, oh, a student called me at 3 o'clock in the morning, Mr. Tabarrini, thanks a lot. But there are teachers here available for you for extra help. And Anna will tell you, every phone call I end with her is, Anna, did you get extra help? Did you call this teacher during study hall? Are you asking for extra help? Because that's what's available here. And it's not a burden to the teachers here. They're looking for it. When I'm in business and someone walks in my office and says, Mr. Tabarrini, well, they call me Rich at the office when I was there. What more can I do? Where can I take my career to the next level? Nothing makes me happier. I am so happy that I have employees that come to me and say, I want to do better. Tell me how. Can I get my auditing certificate? Can I get my project management certificate? Can I get my master's degree? I'll guide them. People love to share their knowledge. You're learning that here early in the Hill School. And a lot of students don't have the confidence to ask for help. You need to have that confidence to ask for help, not just here at the Hill, not just when you go on to higher education, but also in the workforce. People love to share their experience and their knowledge with you. And the more you ask questions, the more you absorb, the more value you become, the happier you're going to be, the more fulfilled you're going to be. The more chances are you're going to find something that you didn't know existed that can take you on a tangent and take your career in a whole different direction and give you a lot of fulfillment. So your opportunities here at the Hill School are not just in the classroom, they're also outside the classroom. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you're learning from each other every single day. I talked about it when I talked about diversity, but you're learning from each other every day. The three children that we have that graduate the Hill have friendships for life. There are Hill students, Hill graduates at my house every single break, spring break, Christmas break, summer break. It's amazing. The friendships that you form here, you're learning from each other every single day. And you're learning each other's cultures, you're learning each other's mannerisms, you're learning each other's way of thinking, and that just makes you better. Again, it doesn't have to change who you are, but it opens your mind to other possibilities. It gives you the best opportunity to be the best person you are. The other part of opportunity is this school is, and correct me if I'm wrong, 173 years old. The history here. I really hope all of you take the time, just a day, to walk around campus and read a lot of the plaques that are around the walls. You are part of such a rich history and rich tradition, but that's available to you. There are so many alumni here that want to see you succeed. Now, I know Mr. Eccleston and I know the admissions council, and if I applied to the Hill today, I probably still couldn't get in because I would have to compete against all of you. You are absolutely the best and brightest students. The selectivity to get in here is so difficult. So I know you're the best and brightest. And if you apply yourselves, you're going to do wonderful, wonderful things. But it's okay to ask for help. Ask for help from your faculty. Ask for help from alumni. Reach out to alumni. What warms my heart about my children is when I hear from other parents, I was talking to your child, and I couldn't believe that they walked up to me, didn't know me, shook my hand, looked me in the eye, and introduced themselves. I never had that confidence when I was that age, but those are values and skills you learn here at the Hill School. And that's what we want for you as parents. We want all of these opportunities, not just the education, but all the soft skills you get here. Find yourself a mentor. There's so many teachers here that want to provide extra help, whether it's on the ball field, whether it's in theater, whether it's in the wood class, whether it's in computer programming. Take advantage of those opportunities, soak it all in. If you're a sixth former, spend a day walking around campus and just realizing what a great opportunity you had. And I have a challenge for all you fifth formers. As soon as you become sixth formers, come on campus and find a third former who might be a little bit scared like I was at LaSalle. Maybe give them a kind word, a little bit of, hey, if you're struggling with anything, come to me. I can give you some advice. I can help you out. I'm here for you. We're all brothers and sisters here at the Hill School. We're all going to be alumni someday, and it's all important to help each other out. So, diversity, equity, and inclusion was a big part of our reasoning for our kids to come here. Supportive and reinforcement of all the values, kindness, truth, honesty, integrity, responsibility, paying it forward. Those were all really important aspects as parents for us to have instilled in our children. It took me, as I mentioned, until my 20s and 30s to really appreciate this. And this is an opportunity we're able to give to our children when they were 14 to 18 years old. You are 90 steps ahead of 95% of the high school graduates in this country. Now, the day you graduate, you're going to be like, thank God I'm out of Hill, right? Because you're exhausted. You've been here 4 years. But I'll tell you, for all 3 children that we've had graduate, within a year, they came to us and said, we really want to thank you for sending us to Hill School. We are so far ahead of everybody when we went to college. We are such better people than when we came to the Hill School. So it really means a lot. The values here are just so positive. And I really want to leave you with this. When I was in my late 20s, I read a book and it changed my life. The book was Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And there were 2 key takeaways from that book. The first is, it's not enough to be in the right place at the right time. You have to have the courage and the belief in yourself to take advantage of that opportunity to succeed. And the second point of that book was, if you want to be the best of the best in your field, you need to do 10,000 hours. Some of you may have heard 10,000 hours, 10,000 hours. A lot of people say that word. It came from that book. You really need to do 10,000 hours of dedication to become the best of what you do. That's what your teachers have done to be here to teach at the Hill School. So I'd like to, just pass along both of those things to you. I know that you are the best of the best students in this country just to get into the Hill School. So if you put your head down and you believe in yourself, you're going to achieve great things. Do the work, have a lot of self-confidence, believe in yourselves, and I guarantee each and every one of you are going to be super successful in whatever you decide to do. Thank you. I really appreciate letting me speak to you today as a parent.